an important toy for a lot of you guys out there. It's a great helicopter, and I decided when we found out that we had a spot to do a big price point. I made Daryl and I talked about let's make this happen, and we didn't have tooling for it, so we had to start over. So I wanted to make it both a really nice, accurate version of this classic and fantastic toy that in my opinion, had awesome appeal, as much appeal as it had in the 80s. It continues to resonate with people today. I compare this thing to a football. Like, there's no redesigning of football in my opinion. It's just good, it's fun, and this thing is even better than it was in the 80s, and here's why. One of the big frustrations I discovered when I would talk to people at the conventions is you see that the propellers are always breaking off these things. So I said, we've got to fix that. The hoist on the bottom would fall off. It would get damaged. It was hard to use as a kid. It's still hard to kind of work as an adult. Had to fix that. The interior of the thing was designed for 3 3/4-inch O-ring figures. Had to fix that. So we went through and we took a Tomahawk. We literally got one. We sent it over to our team. They recreated it in 3D. We attached the tail so we could fit it into a smaller box and make it a better value for the consumer. But we also took the opportunity to reskin the entire interior of this thing so that it's more accurate, it's cooler, and it just has that level of detail that I think fans and kids are coming to expect from GI Joe, that realism. And we also took the opportunity here to really put a new, cool 3 3/4-inch figure here in the form of Lift Ticket. Lift Ticket is sort of an accurate helicopter pilot with a nice next-gen helmet setup. He comes with not one, but 2 headsets that you can equip your favorite GI Joes, one of them in the pilot seat, or 2 of them in the gunners in the back. Because after doing some research, this is actually how guys who ride in helicopters work. It's too loud to hear it, and it's you need to communicate with people so that you can get your mission done. Last but not least, as you look at this thing, you'll notice lots of little foot pegs and ports. The ports on the back of the aircraft are actually for you to put ultimate roadblock and mouses, zipline attachments to the back, so that you can have a full team of guys ziplining off the back of this thing. And the last, the small little Easter egg that I put in here too is you'll notice that the guns, which are always sort of a small frustration of mine as an O-ring collector, which are sort of small, and it sort of suited the purpose. But I decided to make them removable so that if you have a roadblock figure, you can put roadblocks, more accurate 50 cal rifle into the same port. If you have 2 roadblocks for whatever reason, you can have 2 50 cals on empty side. So this thing, along with the stickers, which are completely redone and handmade by me to be more military accurate and cooler. There's 2 different colors of GI Joe logos in there. So it's all about customization. It's about how do you want your Tomahawk experience to be. And I know how important that ownership is to a GI Joe fan. I know how important that ownership is to a kid. And we're just really driving for that with this item. So I'm just super proud of this thing. I hope you guys like it.
We'll try and go fast. But one of the questions we are asked is, why an updated Tomahawk? Why not a totally new vehicle? And the answer is actually, it's pretty simple. Just like we did with the Sky Striker last year, we want to make sure that we have familiar iconography. Some of the Joe vehicles are as iconic as the Star Wars vehicles. I mean, they are as iconic as Star Wars vehicles. When you talk about his tanks and Sky Strikers and Mobats and things like this. And this is one that, like John said, we did not have the tools, but we said this would be a very, very valuable kind of form to have in our library. So we decided this is the one we want to update. So I'm really glad you did a great job, John. Thanks. Next slide. Microforce, quickly go through here. This is a new expression designed really to have a super low price, impulsively collectible new expression for GI Joe. I don't know if you guys know, but the blind bag phenomenon, just little, simple entry price things like little treats you can get for the kids, has exploded on a global basis. So this has been a big one for us, and it's really taken off. We're re-releasing more of these guys. But we decided a while ago we're only going to do Series 1. We put Series 2 on hold. It could be that we release Series 2 someday in the future, but there's no plans. It won't be coming this year at least for now, unless that decision reverses itself. But for now, it'll be one series of 43 figures. Next slide, please. Oh, there they are. There they are. Cool and cute, collectible.
There's a lot of guys here too that, like, you know, the Budo was revealed in this form before he was even, you know, revealed as a figure. So this is an opportunity to collect lots of little cool things, and I think it's good for the collector community because all you guys, you know, you get doubles, you trade, and guess what? Maybe you made a friend, you trade, and that's just good for the community.
Okay, so that ends the main line. Now let's talk about Creo. So you can go on. Okay, so Creo is our Creo GI Joe is our big introduction for this year from the GI Joe side. It is available exclusively at Toys R Us, and you know, we would have liked it to have been a national line, but we're very happy to partner with Toys R Us, who actually went in very aggressively. Said we want to own this segment. It was a great partnership for them. We had already picked Star Trek as our national Creo line before GI Joe was even developed. I will say this line, I'm blown away by the quality of this line. It's amazing. Even though it was developed, it was actually a late edition last year. Our principal designer on this, Richard Woodhouse, who also worked with John on GI Joe, poured his heart and soul into this line to make it as accurate and great, and the builds as quality and as much diversity and excellence of character design as you know, you see that in the line. You see his passion and his team's passion. So this reflects the love of a GI Joe fan who worked around the clock to deliver a line on a late schedule. It turned out every way awesome, and it's red hot right now. So Creo GI Joe is hot. You know, we're looking at you know, what next to extend the line to. It will stay at Toys R Us as an exclusive. You know, as the line continues, and we'll see what happens. You know, whenever the next movie comes out. So we're very happy to partner with Toys R Us. So there's nine building sets out, 28 Creons. Actually, there's more. 28 Creons, and this is just wave 1. You can go through fast. All these are at retail right now. The blind bag minifigure. Actually, if you go back for a second. Sorry, back. This is wave 1 of the blind bag minifigures. I don't have an answer quite yet on whether we're re-releasing more of these. I know some of the figures will be very hard to find, especially the troop builders. But let me show you wave 2 that is coming in the fall. Thank you. 12 new figures. We have them all in the booth. You can pick your favorites. You know, I think Snow Job and the Bat are my favorites. Thank you. These are unbelievably awesome. You know, cans of grape soda for the Dreadnoks. It's like a dream come true. John, we should do that in the mainline.
Yeah, right?
Just awesome details that Richard had really put into this line. So these will be wave 2 minifigures. Next slide, please. I know so new fall item is the Ghost Striker pack, and this will have a trooper. So nice, mid-priced, you know, good guy, bad guy. You got some air and ground play in there. Nice version of the ASP anti-aircraft. And next slide. So that's one new item. The second new item for the fall is the Chicago Dojo. This is a great set, really fun set. And this is the kind of thing that Toys R Us said they want to see. They say it's great to do. You get your heritage figures in there. We want to make sure there's connectivity to the movie without being a deliberate, you know, GI Joe retaliation set. And it's not a retaliation set. It has the essence of all the ninja play in it with the classic versions of the Cobras we love. So it has Destro Baroness, and then you know, Snake Eyes and Timber, and then 3 ninja figures as well. And of course, the amazingly iconic His Tank. So this is a fantastic set, great value. Look for that and the Ghost Striker set and the Wave 2 minifigures coming in fall, so roughly around August. And that's it for our presentation. We'd love to see, make sure there's anything else out there. Okay. So there will be.
Are there any plans for possibly movie accurate vehicles?
Yes, yeah, we've been talking about that. So we kind of used our tooling budget on the ones, you know, the ones you saw there. But we know that there are a couple that fans really want to see. That Ninja Ice Rail, you know, is definitely one of those. I think the Cobra Copter is another totally awesome one. So those are on John and I's wish list of the ones we'd like to do next. Right now, I gotta tell you, they're not in the, we don't have them in the plans right now in line, but based on the success of the movie, we're rewriting the plans on what could happen in the future.
Yeah, we're definitely listening, and there's a lot of demand for those things, and they turned out pretty awesomely, and they act well, and they're iconic, which are all things that GI Joe needs.
Hey, guys, Jim from Southern New Jersey. First of all, great job on the stuff that's been coming out lately. I think that the Renegade Scarlet Fox Lady J was really worked out well. That's probably the lowest figure, I think. Everything else. Cover Asian and Firefly.
All right.
Glad you like it.
All right. Focus.
A couple of questions. First one, with the Creo success, is there any consideration maybe doing a tie-in video game along the lines of like the Lego Star Wars kind of things?
Well,
Bring kids in.
that would be a great idea. So yes, we would love to do that, right? Success builds on itself. So things like that, it'll take probably a while to affect something like that. But we would love it. You're going to see a lot of exciting stuff happening with Creo overall. As a company, we're going deep into Creo. It's a big strategic move for us, and we're not going to back away. So things like that require a licensing partner to do that too. It's not something that Hasbro would do, but we look for a licensing partner to do that. But hopefully, we'll have some news, sometime in the future. Don't know when, but I think if Joe continues to do well, Joe Creo, that the possibilities are unlimited on what we can do.
And then the other question I had was with next year being 2014 and the 50th anniversary of the line as a whole. Is there anything, maybe teasers you can give us of anything that maybe you're considering doing for that?
Yeah, right now we can't talk about anything specifically about Joe next year. For everybody, it is the 50th anniversary, of 1964 when Joe started. But right now, I'd say those plans are being still written, so nothing specific that we can talk about right now.
Hey, really great stuff. Love the Creo, love the line that's coming. I think that one real noticeable character from the movie, and a lot of people think Jonathan Price just absolutely steals it. So, is there any way we can get Azartan as the president?
That's an interesting idea. It just is happening. So, what do you think?
Yeah, we could probably figure some way out on that guy.
Yeah.
I have some ideas.
All right, that's a good one. I was thinking about that. I watched the movie last night, and that's one that's a kind of a missing one. Good question.
Wave 3, 12 action figures. Is that going to be one each in the case assortment?
Yes, it will. It'll be
Yeah.
the same
Awesome.
case.
Yeah, specifically, that's what we wanted.
Two questions. One follow-up from last year about the Python Patrol Crocmaster and Blowtorch.
Oh, those guys, yeah.
Yeah, what do you think, John? Would those be good candidates for bringing back some?
Well, well, I think it's probably a two-part question. Did those carded figures actually get produced, and could we work them in? I love those guys. I think they're cool, and yeah, definitely they're candidates for getting put out at some point.
At some point, they're on our list actually.
And then literally, I do think that some were produced. I think we have a theory that they're trapped somewhere in Chino, and that like 10 years from now they're going to appear at like a discount outlet or something like that. People are going to freak out.
If by now, I know they were produced. There are a few. I've seen them, but they're not. They were only pre-production quantities. We didn't make any quantities that made it out to the public. So, but. Those figures are good. We have a lot of heart. I have a lot of heart for Python Patrol.
Yeah. We'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
Second question is, can you make it a little bit easier for us to get the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, like maybe partner up with the club?
Yeah.
So we can get them to
Are you accessing those at all? Not yet?
Well, we've had a conversation with the Transformer team, and Hasbro Toy Shop is interested in letting us do that, but there's no exact details yet.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll get back to you.
Go for it.
We're trying to work on it.
We're fully supportive. If you guys haven't noticed, I need to give a shout out to Brian and the club.
Absolutely.
Because these guys are doing an amazing job. And that's equally key to the support. So Brian, thank you. I mean, not only are they keeping filling in the seams and keeping it going, and actually producing mind-bogglingly good stuff, in partnership with John and the team. But, it fills needs for you guys and honestly helps round out the Total Joe experience. So,
yeah, it does.
and we want to make that happen. So,
And I can tell you, these guys shake their hand because they work really, really, really hard, harder than I think you might know. And they deserve a handshake. They might even deserve a hug. So,
so thank you, Brian.
Are there any plans to do anything with the concept zombies that you showed last year?
well, I want to do
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, when you have your own.
Yeah, I do love the Walking Dead. So
yeah, I don't know.
My wife would be a huge support of that. She's a huge fan of that show too. So I think I like them, and we know the popularity of the zombies. I think we have to be, when we reveal stuff in the concept vault, you have to sort of be a little judicious about types of fringe characters you put in. Zombie is a fringe character, and there were certainly a lot of zombies in the vault. When we think about, a balanced line, a balanced offering for the future, you gotta weigh in those guys the right way. So, I love it, and that's the reason we come to JoeCon. If we hear enough people say, "Hey, what about the zombies?" Maybe we'll take a second look at them. So,
Zombie's almost the thing where you wrap a whole thing around it. You just embrace it, and you get into it, and it's a storyline, eco warriors type, kind of thing. So you either go kind of long, or I'm not saying we're doing it. I'm saying that's the way you would do it, right? It's not just dip your toe in. You kind of embrace it for a while, then you move on to the next thing, like John says. So, but right now, no zombies in the works, but maybe. Sorry, next.
All right, to add on his idea.
All right, hey.
Yeah, I think Jonathan Price. You know, would be pretty cool would be the two heads.
Yes.
So like Zartan halfway.
yeah,
And
it's a good idea.
And then on vehicles like the Treadfire with the ridiculous missile launcher. Is it possible to put a cheap gun that is not a giant missile launcher?
It's kind of like what they've done in Star Wars. You have the kid weapon and then the launcher. That's it.
We try to do that. Sometimes those things get costed out. It's because it's tough. It's tough to hit your goal. So, but knowing that's an important thing, I'll make sure to do more of that.
Okay.
Hi, I was just looking at the figure lift ticket, which was such a great figure. Does that mean in the future vehicle drivers will now have the good articulation?
Yeah, good question.
Yes.
Yeah, we quite honestly made a mistake, but sometimes you do that when you're trying to get everything done, and we have to hit financial targets, to be quite honest, and sometimes it means not tooling a vehicle because of that. But we're not going to make that mistake anymore. So. Two more? Okay, thanks. All right, Scarlett.
Hi, Snake Eyes has a question. Who did the original card art in the 80s for the toys? And why was the card art altered for most, if not all, of the 25th and 30th anniversary years?
Wowza. Okay, good question.
That's a really good question. It was done. I just went to the archive a couple weeks ago, and it was done by an agency. There were several artists that worked at that agency. I personally don't know, but when I look at all of we have stacks of this stuff in the archives. Some of it all has the same sticker from an agency, and I can't remember for the life of me what that is. And they answered the second part of your question. Fran, I think knows.
Fran, you want to answer the question? So, who are the artists who created all the card art? I know Dave Dorman, created many. What's that?
Hector Garrido.
Hector Garrido. Okay. All right. So now, why did it change?
And the reason why it changed really quickly is all that art is done literally by hand. They're gouache painted posters. Some of them were lost in the flood at Hasbro, most of them. and the ones that remain are in a state of decay and disarray. Like they're old. Like they really should probably be, you know, put inside acid-free, you know, secret chambers with temperature control and stuff like that. So when you're designing a package, it was easier for them to take digital repaints of each of those things, and that's the reason why. Because in the modern world, we have to art release things through computers. We send everything over to the printer. It has to, you know, we don't work the way we did in the 80s anymore. So all that stuff had to be redone digitally. And the artists that they found, they tried to replicate that style the best they could, and it wasn't the original artist at the time when we did that. But we tried to do our best to match the general feeling. So hope that answers the question.
Last question. We're happy to talk to you. John and I will be here.
Yeah, that's why we're here. So stop by the booth.
Through the end of the day, we actually won't be here tomorrow. We have to get back and be to work on Monday. So last question, but we'll talk to you.
All right, last year there was talks of voting poll for the concept art or the concept figures in the mall.
Yep.
Can we still get those put up? Maybe 2 7-packs or something produced from that?
The 7-packs, yeah. Okay, so that's a great idea, and I will tell you we are looking at something like that right now. It's not confirmed, but you know, as we go forward, and if we have the opportunity next year, a lot of this is in discussion, you know, with senior management on what we're going to do for Joe. That would be a good opportunity, I think, to get fans vote.
Yeah, and to wrap up, there were a lot of fan sites. General's Joe's, his tank did a great Final Four kind of thing, and there was great data that was gleaned from you guys, and that was all fan created. I just wanted to extend a big thank you to you guys. That's a great way to really end this, is to say, you know, GI Joe is special not because I'm, you know, busting my butt doing figures, but also because you guys, the collectors, the fans, and the kids, are all passionate about this thing. We all believe in it, and we're all part of it. So never forget that. Thank you.
Well said, Jim.
Thank you, Hasbro. We appreciate their support, because without them,